Hello, my friends. I actually sat down today to film the finale episode of Lucifer, but I opened it up. It's an hour long, and I actually don't have an hour because I'm gonna go see Tenet with my sister. Because we can do that here. Woo woo. Woo woo indeed. I actually have seen it. So I guess instead I'm gonna make a little bonus video for you guys since I'm already all set up. I thought I would throw in the middle here just kind of what I thought about it. Enjoy. I haven't really had the urge to do this with any other movie. Then again, I haven't really gone to the theater in the last 6 months, so that might be why. I don't know if this is a good or a bad one to do, especially with me like asking so many questions about World of Warcraft. So that reaction is gonna be at the end of the video, but I don't know, I feel like people are talking about it, so I wanted to be in on it. If you want to skip to it, that timestamp is right here, even though I'm totally on the outside because I have no idea as per usual. Otherwise, let's talk about Tenet. So I've said recently that I've never really watched much of Robert Pattinson's stuff because I feel like he's such a good actor, he just creeps me right out in a lot of his roles. Or I don't think the movie is going to be a happy ending. Like somebody told me the ending of Remember Me before I saw it and I was like, perfect, don't ever need to see that movie. Great. If you didn't know that Tenet was a Christopher Nolan movie, you haven't watched a trailer because all Christopher Nolan movies kind of have a similar vibe. I didn't really know that I liked Christopher Nolan movies because I actually haven't really paid attention to directors that much, which might be stupid, but I've been thinking a lot recently about the type of things I enjoy and the type of things I've leaned towards since I've been doing this channel, and like, it's fun. I don't really care who's in it, who's directing it, who whatever. I'm gonna like it if it's fun and if the good guys win in the end. And I think that Christopher Nolan doesn't usually do that, fun or good guys win in the end, but I have really liked some of his stuff. Oh my god, they're making another Memento? Why? Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world.
We're trying to prevent World War III.
A protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time.
Well, I've seen too much.
I mean, I guess that's what it's about. I watched the trailer before I went and I was like, this looks good. I could get behind this. And honestly, I've never felt so dumb in a movie where I guessed almost everything that was gonna happen. I mean, not everything, but there were a lot of things that I guessed what was gonna happen, but I was still so confused the entire time. I don't know how those two things coincide, like some kind of temporal pincer, but I feel like the marketing to this movie was wrong or something. I don't know. Before I get into any of my nitpicky stuff, this movie was great. I really, really enjoyed it. Even though I was confused for 2/3 of the movie, it paid off. Like, I really, really liked the ending. It was like trippy and weird to see all these things happening at the same time and figure out how they were going together. Tenet stars Elizabeth Debicki, Robert Pattinson, John David Washington, and Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh, man. I just feel like he's so good. There are some celebrities that they're so famous that when I see them, all I see is who they are. In Into the Woods, I was like, oh, Meryl Streep dressed as a witch, and Anna Kendrick in a dress. Awesome. But in this, I was like, oh, Kenneth Branagh. And then Kenneth Branagh totally disappeared. And I don't know, I don't think that happens all the time. Sometimes it's hard for me to not see Robert Pattinson in the few times I watch his stuff. But Kenneth Branagh, he just creeped me right out in this entire movie and I loved his performance. The other three also were great. This movie though was not without its flaws. So basically what we see in the trailer of this movie is totally irrelevant. We follow a guy who is facing some threat to humanity and he is told that that threat revolves around inverted objects or the ability to invert things, people, cars, whatever. Basically what that means is that everything's moving backwards, but it's happening at the same time. In the trailer, we see J.D. Washington learning about these inverted objects and shooting a gun, an empty gun, at a stone wall, and the bullets are being pulled out of the wall into the gun, and he's told,
You're catching it.
not shooting them. This whole thing was irrelevant. That never comes up again in the entire movie, and honestly, I would have been less confused without it. That whole thing like set up this idea that he could pick up inverted objects, even though he was not inverted, and you have to have like intention to do it, never showed up again in the entire movie, and I'm not sure why they spent so much time explaining that part of it. After that, for the next maybe 45 minutes or so, we get into this heist spy movie thing, which was really cool and fun to watch, but I was very, very confused. There was a really great hallway fight scene where an inverted person is fighting a non-inverted person, and that was great. Basically, guys, I'm making this because I want to complain. So, if you have not seen Tenet, please, please, please skip to this timestamp. I do not want you to be spoiled. It is really, really worth it to watch it and not be spoiled. So again, this timestamp for my final no spoiler thoughts on Tenet, and this timestamp for the World of Warcraft reaction. Guys, there's a line in the movie at one point that's like, you're not going to understand, don't think about it too hard, which is a message to the audience. If you think about it too hard, you're not going to understand. But it's not that I'm not going to understand. It's that there are some things that just don't make sense. For example, inverted people are walking around an uninverted world. Am I not going to notice somebody just like strolling casually backwards beside me? Nobody seems to acknowledge that there are inverted people around them unless it's convenient to the plot. And that was very odd to me. I'm pretty sure if somebody was walking backwards smoothly like beside me, I'd be like, what the fuck is that? That's one thing. So the big baddie apparently is the future. Robert Pattinson's character talks about the grandfather clause, which is basically like, can I go back in time and kill my grandfather? Well, how could I do that? Because then I wouldn't be born to go back in time to kill my grandfather. And this is something about time travel movies that I actually love to discuss. And I think that there's just a bunch of different types of time travel. Every time you time travel, you create a new universe. Or maybe it's like Back to the Future where you just change things. Or it's like the time machine where his wife dies, he builds a time machine, he goes back in time, he saves her, but she dies because if she doesn't die, he doesn't build a time machine, he can't go back in time, and blah, 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 whatever. They don't ever really answer this question, and I think that's okay. But their brand of time travel is their inversion time spent is the same as our time spent. So it takes me a day to move from right now to 24 hours in the future. But if my future self was inverted in 24 hours to get back to this point, it would also take 24 hours. So at the end of the movie, when we learn J.D. Washington has been like zipping around through time, well, he must be an old man when Robert Pattinson's character first meets him, right? Am I a crazy person for thinking this? That drove me crazy. Another thing that drove me crazy, which I guess isn't really a spoiler, but I'll leave it in this spoiler part. It really upset me that the female main character was just a mom. She couldn't also be a concerned citizen of the world trying to save humanity. She was just trying to save her son. Why not both? Why was she boiled down to just wanting to save her son? I really didn't like that, and it was just in one line that I felt was very cliched and totally unnecessary, where they kind of fill her in on everything and they say, well, if Kenneth Branagh's character does such and such or whatever, the world is going to end. And she's like, the world including my son. Yeah, including your son, but also, like, can you not care about everybody? You know, I don't understand why the male protagonist in this movie could care about everybody, but the female protagonist could only care about her son. That was a bit of a bummer. The car chase scene, so cool, but the car wasn't inverted. And so at some point in the movie, we were told, like, only inverted objects can move backwards, and then later on they were saying that, well, he's inverted, so they don't know how he's going to be able to move with the car. There was just a lot of stuff that wasn't explained, and maybe it couldn't be explained, and that's fine, and you just kind of suspend your disbelief for the enjoyment of the movie, which, like, I did not, and I still enjoyed the movie, so you could do it either way. But that was a little frustrating and confusing to me. I did feel like there were a lot of small things put in at the beginning of a scene that would pay off at the end of the scene that I really wish were sneakier, but maybe I'm just super smart, so they weren't sneaky for me, and they'll be sneaky for everybody else. The cracked side mirror. As soon as I saw the cracked side mirror, I was like, well, something's happening there. As soon as I saw the guy on the ground in that final, like, showdown save the world scene, I knew Robbie P wasn't making it out of this movie. Overall, I really loved this movie. I really feel like I'm gonna have to watch it 2 or 3 more times to fully appreciate everything. But knowing myself, I also know that it's gonna just drive me even more crazy finding more things to nitpick. As for the characters, as you guys know, if you watch my channel, I love characters. And I feel like the characters were actually just like, okay, for the most part. We don't really get to know them very well, but because everything that was happening was so interesting, I felt like it was okay. Like, this movie trusted me to put the pieces together. I wasn't spoon-fed everything. You really have to work to understand everything, and that was cool. I really enjoyed that. I think too, despite not really knowing the characters super well, I almost cried at the end. There's like just a great scene, and I feel like that's what, man, sometimes I think I could be an actor, I could do that, I could do what they do, and then sometimes I watch a movie like this with just like a small snippet of just, and I'm like, man, I could never, I would die to make somebody feel as much as you made me feel with that 3 lines of dialogue. Sometimes I watch somebody perform and I'm in awe. I also feel that way when I read books though sometimes too. I remember once reading the Night Huntress novel, feeling like so gutted and thinking I can never write anything this powerful. But you know what, maybe I will. Anyways, Tenet was great. I really, really loved it. I totally recommend that you watch it. I give Tenet 4 out of 5 Harry Potter lightning bolts, and yeah, I guess that's it. I finally found another Robert Pattinson movie that doesn't make me cringe or want to crawl under my bed until the monsters go away. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about this movie. If you want to hear more of my ramblings about different movies that I watch, please let me know in the comment section. And on to the reaction. Okay, so we're doing Shadowlands Afterlives Bastion. No idea what any of that means. I'll just watch and be confused. Oh. This reminds me of the 300 graphic novel. Oh, is this the guy's sword that we've seen a few times?
Light, save my soul.
Save my soul too.
Uther.
Where am I?
Uther like Arthur's dad, Uther?
Welcome
Probably not, huh?
to Bastion.
Oh.
You led a truly selfless life, and for that, you have been chosen
Well, this is a heaven-ish.
to shed your mortal burdens and join the ranks of the Ascended, serving to ferry the souls of the dead unto the Shadowlands.
I serve the light, and my work is not done. There is an evil that must be...
There is no evil here. The darkness was sealed within the Maw long ago.
You're wrong. He destroyed my home, murdered my people.
I really feel like I
and
need to
my
know so
king.
much more to
He
fully
must
appreciate
be
this.
Punished.
You are an aspirant now. You must accept your new purpose
Huh.
and purge yourself of this desire for vengeance.
What I desire is justice.
Devos, why are you training this soul? It is beneath your station as a paragon.
He cannot let go. He continues to demand retribution
This
for
is so
his death.
interesting.
And this concerns you? Many souls take eons to ascend.
Yes, but this one seems broken, Thenios. Unlike any soul I have seen, I have begun to wonder whether he was deemed worthy of Bastion. By mistake.
Be careful,
Rude.
Devos. I would not let the Archon hear such a thought. In time, he will forget. Trust our ways.
He will forget.
The path.
I don't like that.
Devos, how long must we train?
Until you are ready to ascend.
And what is keeping me from ascension?
Nothing but the memory of your mortal life.
You have to
How
forget
can
your
I
mortal
forget?
life?
When I can still feel
Same question, bro.
blade.
Oh, that wasn't my same question. Ooh.
Your soul is wounded? Who did this to you?
How long has he been here?
Was my student.
And they never noticed
He
that?
betrayed us all.
Show me. The runes on his blade were unmistakable. This dark agent runs free on a mortal world with the power of the Maw itself in hand. Our realm is imperiled.
Impossible. The Maw is inescapable. You must return to the path.
If he had purged his life, we never would have known of this calamity. The path is flawed.
Enough!
The path is flawed.
The order of the Shadowlands depends on the execution of our eternal charge. You will abandon this course.
As you command, my Archon.
I hope that was a lie.
Uther, the time of your ascension has come.
I thought I was not ready.
Do you wish to see him punished?
I do.
Then prepare yourself. The moment he falls, we will claim him.
Huh. Oh, that doesn't look like the same one at all that we saw before. It didn't have the ram's head thing on it, did it?
I see
Uh-oh.
only darkness
Because you're in trouble.
before me.
Now, cast him into the maw.
Isildur!
Return him
Just
to
kidding.
the
Sorry.
darkness he served.
I couldn't help it.
His eternal suffering awaits.
He was my student.
Remember what he did and take your vengeance.
Not vengeance. Justice.
Oh, he did it! I didn't think he was gonna do it. Huh. I didn't think he was gonna do it. Wild. That was cool. I'm very confused at the way this was created, like how it looks versus how they normally look. So maybe somebody can tell me why this one is different, or if this is just like a normal thing and this is only the first one of this type that I've seen. That would be cool. That was fun. Short and sweet. Hope it was fun for you guys too. And I guess that's it. I don't really got much for you today. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and I'll be back.